Yes, people, welcome up, man. Welcome to another Sunday after Nick and Dan podcast. Yeah, Daniel, bless up in on Sunday. Wagwan.
They don't know.
Yeah,
Can't complain. I just see as a Chelsea fans. Happy to be as a Chelsea fan at them at time, But
come back guys
can't
again, man.
complain. Eh?
Come back here again. That Chelsea thing there again. Chelsea, and they
It's
go.
gonna be a every little thing because for the past couple of years we have been crap. So,
Yeah,
as a fan, I've loved the game. Brilliant to see your team started to put in some performance, So yeah.
yeah. People say welcome back to another Sunday after Nick and Dan podcast. You don't know streaming on both platforms, NICARDO Videos and Daniel Football Show. Bless up to everybody. Yeah, passing through. Bless up to the people as usual. Watching this back on the replay. My utmost respect goes out to you and what you guys having for your dinner and on a lovely Sunday. Yeah, we don't know most spot have red rice and chicken. Yeah, some people have dumplings, some people have white rice. What you have, Daniel?
Aki and saltfish and dumpling me cook today.
See,
Me eat red rice last week. Me not feeling a rice and peas. So I'll
yeah.
do it like a national dish this week.
Yeah. Yeah, people, the Nick and podcast is there again. I don't know we start off with the starters topic talking about, a little bit of a recap around in Europe. And, we thrown back in with the Reggae Boys and also wrapped up with the EPL roundups. Yeah. So we have loads of things, talking about, the EPL, talking about, the Reggae Boys. What's the worst thing that happened in the calendar year of 2024 for the Reggae Boys? Yeah. We're going to touch on that as well. And also, talk about some news that surround the EPL and also the FIFA Club World Cup draw took place. Are we going to give our takes on which we think is the group of death? You understand? So, I mean, Daniel, as again, man, welcome yet another Sunday. But let's start off, right around there at the FIFA Club World Cup. We saw the group stage, took place, a couple of days ago. Massive tournament, the inaugural tournament, we finally can say it kind of feeling like a World Cup is around the corner, but for the club teams, first club FIFA World Cup, it will stage in the US. You feel any excitement around, the after the group stage, right?
Yeah. You know, I mean not really, but I feel like once the tournament kick off and the game started to play, that's when you're gonna start feel excited. As a Chelsea fan, my team is gonna be participating there. I'm gonna be very happy. I just wanna see where those games gonna play. If any of those couple of those games come to this side, the Californian region, I would love to see if I can able to go. But at so many criticism of this tournament. People are saying that it's too much football, but me personally, um, me as a fan, I mean, I understand the players' them perspective, but me as a fan, I just want to see games, more and more games. And as I say, when the tournament kick off, I don't think nobody gonna be talking about that. Just like in the Qatar World Cup, people were
Yeah.
saying we remember over the years and years I want to talk about this World Cup in December, and we see here so many talking about it. And let's be honest, this has been one of the best World Cup we ever
Yeah.
seen. You
Yeah.
get what I'm
Right.
saying? So I'm okay with new tournament and new ideas. So let's see when the football start play.
Yeah, but I think I can feel a little bit excitement around. Again, we know the FIFA World Cup is free to air. DA, Zane, that big media stream platform will buy out, the rights, make it be a free to air. So everybody, right around the world can watch it just like they do with the international tournament, FIFA World Cup. So wherever you in the world, it will be free for you guys to watch. Yeah, it's a 1 billion, Danny, 1 billion broadcasting rights buyout. You understand? But talking about the group stage, massive club, is joining that tournament as well. Botafogo, Yeah, Botafogo, the team from Rio de Janeiro, also in that group stage as well. I would say, look, that group, with Botafogo, Paris Saint-Germain, Atletico Madrid, I think that zone probably the group of death for me. Look at what Botafogo have done. Their first
Yeah.
ever Copa Libertadores. Today, I was watching Botafogo winning their first, league title since the year when I was born, over 2 decades, nearly 3 decades now. 1995 was the last time Botafogo win the Brazilian, league title. Kudos to them. But I mean, your takes on what you think is the group of them, because I think that group, with Botafogo, Atletico Madrid, and Paris Saint Germain. Who else is in that zone?
Um.
That zone. I think that zone is a group of it. When you look at how Paris have been playing, when you look at Atletico Madrid have been playing, you think that a Botafogo team, who beat Atletico Mineiro in the Copa Libertadores, that not many people would have predicted that, especially getting a red card in the early stage of that game. So I think anybody can really beat anyone. I think the
Yeah.
matchups are really, huh?
Yeah, that group is PSG, Athletic Madrid, Botafogo, and then the Siena Solos. Yeah, that's a pretty very
Seattle,
good group.
Seattle Sanders. Yeah, that's and
Yeah.
Seattle Sanders. They went to the Western final with LA Galaxy, and they came fourth in the Western side of the
Yeah.
MLS league title. So, Seattle have been playing really good, top team in MLS. So I think any on the given day teams, playing down there in Seattle, it's going to be a very, very good atmosphere. So any given day, anyone can win. I think that's a group of death for me. What's it takes for you?
Yeah, I think I like the group C as well. Bayern Munich, Boca Junior, and Benfica. Those are some big traditional club. You
Big,
get me?
big, big game. I
Especially
think, yeah,
uh,
big game.
yeah, especially I would like to see that Boca Junior against Bayern Munich. That's like something you do on a FIFA. That's just thinking about those game, and then you have the Real Madrid against the Saudi Arabia champion. That should be a
Yeah,
good game as well.
yeah. That's
That
Neymar
should be
team.
yeah. That should be a very
How
good.
about the
And
zone with what about the zone with Monterrey and River Plate?
yeah, I think that's a good one. Inter
That's
Milan,
that game going to be a huge game. It's going to be a
Martinez, I go up
huge game.
against a River Argentinian club,
Yeah, it's
so
going to be a
and
huge
then
game.
you have the Chelsea Fluminense.
The Chelsea Fluminense.
I see Fluminense is beefing with Chelsea fan online. I don't know what's all that about, but their fans crazy. This I see as some video the fans burning Chelsea jersey. I don't know what's that coming from, but um,
I don't know what it takes on that, my bro. I don't know what it takes on that.
but
You know,
David Luiz is at there, so yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a big World Cup, But I mean, move away from the FIFA Club World Cup, La Liga, you know, Barcelona, their last what their last 5 games, they only got 5 points. They got 5 out of 15. The honeymoon period is over for Flick. What is really happening? With the Catalonians, Bars, they were just a few points ahead of Real Madrid in the standing. The Real Madrid with a game in hand, with Valencia. That game's will come, later. But is it the honeymoon period over for Flick?
I
I
would
mean, what is
say
going on?
I would say it's a honeymoon period. I think the teams they're coming up against are some challenging games. That Real Sociedad game, Celta Vigo, always a problem when you go
How about
away.
the Las Palmas game at home?
Las Palmas is a tricky team over the years, but
But at home.
um, yeah, that's true. But I think those are one of those freak result where it happened to all the big teams every season. But I watched that game closely, and Barcelona get a lot of opportunity in that game to
Yeah.
kill off that game. They have over 27 shots to five from Las Palmas in that game, so they dominate that game. But I think Barcelona reached that stage of the season where they're having a bump. You get
Yeah.
me? It's just that how they're gonna react in the second half of the season because they I don't think Real Madrid is even playing that good. And Real Madrid is still the right behind them.
Right.
So
Yeah. What's that game
imagine,
that?
yeah, I have a game in hand. And plus the I'm building Vinicius is out and Bappe have not been that good. So Barca really needs to step it up because Real Madrid
Um.
have not been
See,
that good.
I don't know if we put in too much focus on, the Catalonians and Los Blancos. How about the other team in Madrid, Atletico Madrid? They want to people who don't watch that game or go back to watch that highlights. That game against Sevilla, it's a Griezmann goal at the end of the game. 4-3 win at the Wanda Metropolitano. Atletico Madrid is right there. I remember a few seasons back when Diego Godin was a captain for Atletico Madrid, and this is the same way, Barcelona and Real Madrid both were playing, and Atletico Madrid just creep up on all the two teams in front of them, and they won the La Liga at that time, won it
Yeah.
on Barcelona ground. Barcelona came back at Wanda Metropolitano, and won it as well. But I mean, how much you give Atletico Madrid any chance of trying to win the La Liga?
A lot. They have a game in hand as well, and they are 3 points behind Barcelona. So I give them a lot. It are they consistent enough? I'm not sure, but they have a lot of experience player. And Diego Simone, he know how to win the league. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it's not like say, yo, he's some rookie coach. He know how to win the league. But
yeah.
I just feel like Atletico, the way they play sometimes, they're brilliant at home. They go all out attacking, but it's just when they go away. They have a game coming up against Barcelona.
I just think Atletico Madrid is the only team in the world that know how to use a 4-4-2. No one does it better than them. When I look at it, Diego Simeone actually playing his son consistently out on that right hand side. And
Yeah,
I just think the Julian Alvarez and the Griezmann partnership, it's something similar to what gave them success, like a Diego Costa and Griezmann, in the end, a few years ago. But I just think, if Chulo, Simeone can get a little bit, a little bit more consistent in his players, especially in the big games, the bigger game. Because what I've seen, the difference with this Atletico Madrid team, when they play the small teams, they brush them aside. But when it comes to the big games, it's like there is a stopgap, like, oh,
yeah.
what we should do. But over the years, Atletico Madrid usually done pretty good against the big teams and struggle against the small teams. But now they flip the switch. So now everything is all about what they can do with the big guns, and they're brushing aside all the smaller teams. But talking about the three giants over there in La Liga. Um, Barcelona will travel to the Igdals down the park to play Dortmund, a team that haven't lost at home. Robert Lewandowski, have scored 27 goals since he left Dortmund, and them in 26 appearances, the most he have ever scored. The most he have scored on any other German team. 27 goals, Daniel, in
Yeah.
26 appearances since he left Dortmund. That's remarkable. But both teams lock on 12 points, in the UEFA Champions League. It's going to be a tough game. The last time when these two teams played, Dortmund lost in the Camp Nou. They drew, at the Ignaz Luna Park in Germany. You fancy this Bayern, this Dortmund team to get something, even though they haven't lost a game at home as yet. The only team managed to go there and get a point was, Bayern Munich in the league a couple of match days ago.
I think they are a different animal in the Champions League, especially at home. There's a reason why they are top of the table. You get
Yeah,
me? So I think Barca might go in there in the wrong time because Barca kinda then I'm not saying they're out of form, but they still find it they're having a local struggle. And I think it's the wrong time to be going to Dortmund right now. But I honestly kind of put Dortmund at edge over Barca to win that game. I watched a couple of Dortmund Champions League game. You can see they brought that same farm from
yeah,
last season come into this year. It's
Yeah,
just in the league where they need to stay a little bit more consistent.
yeah,
Right now they're sixth in the table.
yeah.
It's just in the league where they're not consistent,
Away,
but in this,
they just don't know how to do it away in the league.
yeah, yeah, and I think that's have to do more with the coach.
Yeah.
He's kind of inexperienced, so I think I can see Dortmund pull off some Bambasa.
Yeah.
Honestly,
But the All Whites will travel to Bergamo, on midweek to play at Atlanta. News coming out, favored Real Madrid that Jude Bellingham and Vinicius will be back in the squad after Jude, picked up on that, on the weekend against Girona. But Jude Bellingham, Daniel, 5 goals involvement, 8 goals involvement in his last 5 games. Is it that the Jude is back, or he's just scoring and picking up the dust, whenever there's little scraps in the box? There's no Vinny, there's no Rodrigo in the last couple of games. Jude is probably the only player is running into the box. Killian is coming out from the left hand side. Is it that this is a time that Jude is waiting, and that he's the only one being the fox in the box, picking up the scraps? But they will play a tricky game. This team is a leading team in the Serie A this season, under this Italian coach, Gasparini. Wonderful team. I saw, they just dismantled AC Milan on Friday. What do you think? Los Blancos can get something from Atlanta?
of course. they're
It's gonna
they're
be a tough
one of the
game.
most
It's gonna be a tough game for Real Madrid.
yeah, very tough game. I was watching that AC Milan game too, and they was very dominant, and
Yeah.
I think Real Madrid gonna have to be very careful because defensively they're not it. They since they lose Medellin, and I think Atlanta, Lookman, what's his name that they signed from AC Milan that
Big Catenary in Belgium.
gonna give them a lot
Um,
of problem.
the Argentine and Italian, the striker, I forgot his name. I forgot his name. You know what I'm talking.
Gasparini is a very underrated coach.
Yeah,
Very underrated coach. He's doing a wonderful job. They won the Europa League last season.
against the
Oh,
odds.
yeah, exactly. So, as far as Bellingham, no, I think he's picking up scratch. I don't think his overall game is that good. It's decent, but not compared to what he was doing last season. He was dominant. He was influencing the game and stuff. But I feel like he's like running late in the box and scoring and stuff like that. But I don't think he's the same Bellingham from last season, which we expected because he's playing a little bit more deep and all since
Yes.
Mbappe is playing through the middle. So yeah, but Real Madrid is 24th in the in the league phase standing in the Champions League. So they cannot expect to lose. They can because I mean
Only the only good news I can say, man, is that Atlanta, haven't won a game at home in the Champions League this season. They drew both games at home, so that's the only positive I can give Real Madrid. But
yeah, but I
as I
think they
said, I
can.
just cannot call it, huh?
But that Real Madrid defense can go at it.
Yeah. Furlan Mendes so walk off the field injured in the Girona game as well. So
What's going on in Real Madrid players? Why they keep on getting
I
so many
don't
injuries?
know. I don't know. But before I come over back to you, pick up, go on and look at the French league. I want to ask you a question, so you can go over there and pull up the information on the French the league, the Matana league. But people, look, I don't know what is really going on. With Real Madrid injuries. But moving on. With what is really going on over there in the Liga, the Matana League. Paris Saint-Germain dropped points on Friday against Auxerre, a team that the last time this team got something from a game, with Paris Saint-Germain, it was back in, I think it was 2019. Boring 0-0 draw. I was watching that game. I was watching that game, and it was a boring 0-0 draw. But I remember last week you said the title race isn't over. Marseille won on the road against Saint Etienne.
Yeah.
Monaco beat Toulouse. At 2-0. Both Monaco and Marseille won 2-0. Paris Saint-Germain dropped 2 points. It's 5 points is the gap in the French league. Is it on, or is it still too fast to call.
As I said, Paris PSG have not been convincingly this season in the Champions League and in the
Yeah,
league. I think they're just getting by. You know, they struggled their last game. As I said, they draw. And Marseille, I think my main concern with Marseille is to get results on the road. I think
yeah,
they're fine at home. And the next thing too, they need to keep 10 man on the field more. If you That's the only way you're gonna win games. You get what I'm saying? You have to keep 10 players on the field. You get me? So if they want to have a chance to win more games, no, they'd get a lot of red. I think they have the most red card in the league. You get what I'm saying? So I think the way or deserve they play,
yeah,
I think they foul players a lot, you
yeah,
know, and a quick break and they
yeah,
foul a lot of players.
yeah,
So I think they can catch up PSG, but they have to be consistently on the road. Because
yeah,
I think they're very good at home, but I think they just need to. If you don't win the games on the road, don't lose the games. Pretty
yeah,
much. Yeah.
yeah. But I want to say, look, man, deserve it. I was watching a podcast with Gary Lickner interviewing, McAllister, and he was saying that, Roberto De Zerbi is the best manager he have ever played under, and Roberto De Zerbi is said again is one of the most hot-headed manager he have ever played under, and McAllister, I think he was coach in Atletico in Argentina Junior, when he was coming up in Argentina, coached by Gabriel Heinze. No one have, acted like Gabriel Heinze. But Mason Greenwood set a record, learn more of that, coming up tomorrow, on the morning insider, he has scored again. But what I have to say is, Daniel, the next two games in the league for Paris Saint-Germain, yeah, they will play home to Lyon and they will go away to Monaco. Tough, tough games coming up. So
Yeah.
if Marseille, who will encounter with Lille, a top team, yeah, again, I don't know if Marseille going to get something from this game. When the big boys come to the Velderon, it's always chaos. And the next league game will be against Le Havre at home. So Marseille have two big games coming up at home, because why these two games are big games? The next two
Yeah.
games of Paris, is Lyon and Monaco. So anything can happen. And what you said, PSG haven't been convincing.
I must say, I've never. I just started to realizing it. I didn't even realize that the French league only have 18 teams. I could have sworn
Yeah.
they have 20 teams.
No, 18. The
All this
Bundesliga.
time, all this time, really?
Yeah, 18.
I didn't realize it. I be
18.
Oh, so I see why PSG be winning the league so quick.
When the league before February finish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
but
not a lot
we
of
start this up
games.
again. We have to move on. We have to move on. We have to move on. But yeah, people. But that's why I said this. Chelsea have won again. Yeah, Chelsea women team have won again. Manchester City woman team have won again. Khadija Bonisha scored. But I'm being getting annoyed with this Chelsea woman coach. She broke Emma record, of the most consecutive wins. I'm sick and tired of this
Invincible.
Chelsea. Huh?
They can go invincible this season.
I'm just sick and tired of this Chelsea team because of Khadija Bonisha can't get a break.
You think Chelsea can go invincible this season?
It's not impossible. It's
Yeah,
possible. They
impossible.
can. It's possible they can. I mean, learn more about that on the Morning Insider show coming up tomorrow. But I mean, Daniel, let's talk about the Reggae Boys. The Reggae Boys. The worst things that's happened, since the calendar year has started until now. We have at the end of the calendar year. There's no more games for the boys. We're going to talk about our top three worst player for the Reggae Boys throughout the entire calendar year. And also, which one is the worst coach? Is it the Icelandic? Yeah, or the Englishman, Steve McLaren, and also some of the worst moments, yeah, some of the worst moments that have happened on the pitch for the Reggae Boys. We're keeping it on the pitch. We're not going anything with anything in terms of administration. But I mean, Daniel,
Yeah.
give me one out of the bag. Your worst player of the calendar for the Reggae Boyz. Just one out of the bag.
Oh, this year?
Yeah.
Uh, why yeah, me I try compensate if this stuff but mm,
Alright. So when continue to think. My worst player, yeah, one of. I have a few. One of. One of. It is the right back, Dexter Lemekisa. He was one of my worst player. Can only remember one positive from him, and that goal he scored in the third and fourth game in the Nations League.
yeah,
When they played in Texas. Yeah,
yeah.
that goal he scored against Panama. That's the only positive I can take. But he is one of the worst player throughout the entire calendar year. I don't know where the farm just derailed. Everything just
Disappear.
dropped. He's just underperforming. His position awareness, his IQ level of picking up the ball in the final, everything just dropped from where he really started out, in the
Yeah.
January period for the Scottish team, Arts. But um the next one up, Shamar Nicholson, very disappointed. He's another player that he said, he's one of the worst player that ever
Yeah.
played for the Reggae Boys in the 2024 calendar year. Why? He brought us to the semi-final almost single-handed.
Yeah.
Scored 3 goals in over the 2 legs against Canada.
Yeah.
You know what he have done, tremendous, really well, leading goal scorer in the Nations League. But the return of picking up of where he left off in the November period, in the
Poor.
March, in the June. Yes, he has scored 3 goals. Yeah, he has scored 3 goals, in 9 appearances. And those 3 goals that he scored came one in the National Stadium and two away in Dominica. One against Dominica Republic and two against Dominica. So the two Caribbean team them in score pan. But when you're talking about the Copa America, when you're talking about the Nations League,
Yeah.
there's no way to be found with Shaman Nicholson. So those two players are my top two so far. That they're the worst player.
Yeah.
You have one
All
that you want
right.
to talk about?
Yeah. What's the guy name that play for New York City? I play right back.
Oh, Tavon Gray.
Tavon Gray. I don't know. He's my first. Like I don't know what does he offer. Every
Yeah,
time I see him play, he's a miss. He make a lot of mistakes. He doesn't really go down the flank too much. Defensively, is awareness to read the play, read
yeah,
offside is off. He look very inexperienced. You get what I'm
yeah.
saying? And
Look out
he's
of his
playing.
play, quality wise.
He's playing at a very decent level in New York. You get what I'm saying? And when he comes to Jamaica, he look like he's never played football before. I think I've never seen what does he do, and I've never seen a good performance. So I think Tavon Gray have been one. Because when I heard about Tavon Gray, he was telling me about he played for New York City, and I checked him out, and I was like, okay, he all right,
Yeah,
but have not seen anything he done, and so I need next windows or next upcoming coming qualifiers are start. You need to step it up, or else I don't think we need to add him to the squad. We
yeah.
need to get someone that can compete with what's
Dexter.
his get with Dexter. So yeah, and my biggest depend Demar Gray. Demar Gray when the first time he came in the national setup, he was have been one of our best player. You
Yeah,
know, like I watched Demar Gray live before in the World Cup, and he was just outstanding. The,
yeah,
the the guy, he was fit too. He was
yeah,
fit at that
yeah.
moment, and he was doing all the right stuff. And then, man, 2024 hit. I don't know what happened. I think that move to Saudi Arabia kind of messed him up as well.
I
The
don't know, man.
injuries and Demar Gray he can't even beat a man. I think the reason why I'm so disappointed in him because he set a standard when he came in, and I
Yeah,
know he's a very good player from Everton, from Leverkusen, and etc. and Leicester City. So we know he have the quality, so that make it even worse. You get what I'm saying? So I think them argue have been very disappointed in 2024. I know he scored 2 goals in the last games against USA, but those was tapping and he never really do anything in the game. But in the Copa America, he was invincible. You know, he never really like Al Green to just put him on the field, just to put him on the field. You know, the past couple qualifiers never really do nothing. It came off him almost all of the games them. So, I think in 2025 we really need the Margaret to step it up. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other player that I would say is the worst player I've played for us throughout the calendar year. Demargre, a player that he said when he came in that first game in the Gold Cup, when he
Yeah.
gave Nanalo, that set piece goal, to go ahead in the game at Chicago Field in the Gold Cup against the US. You know, I think he scored after that again, in the Gold Cup. And he finished out the year really good, where he played what? I think 11 games, 5 goals, 3 assists. That's 8 goals involvement in 11 appearances. So it's pretty good,
Yeah.
of where he started out the standard. He said he set really high, but trying to figure out like where where does it where does this bad form just start? Is it that injury that he picked up against Karim Benzema team, Al Ittihad? I don't know, man. Where does it where this bad form just all of a sudden the bad weather just blow in on them are great. Yeah, he don't remember how to dribble. His fitness, yes, we're not gonna argue his fitness because injury have played, into that, but it's just poor, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if somebody's saying that Cephas was bad. I don't think Cephas is that bad because Cephas is one of those players that when he came on, or if he start, there's a little spark. There's
Yeah.
something. He create that. He give it that moment that okay, they could have scored from at least one of those fast break that he got. You understand?
Yeah.
I don't think Cephas will fall in that top three category. I don't think Cephas was that bad enough. And a lot of fans, have stick Joel Atibodian on the bus and said, look, yeah, he shouldn't be playing midfield. But when you're talking about the top three worst player of the calendar year, you can't even call his name. Because guess what? As much as he's not playing really well, he does the basic. He fight, yeah, he quarrel the referee, yeah, he I'm sure he show a little bit of passion. Yeah, he shows something on the pitch that look, and he do the extra, he run. You understand? But I understand that those 3 players for me, Dexter, Demargre and Boza, the return of what he did, in 2023 to 2024, just way off for me, for Shaman Nichols. The standard that he said, what a Shaman Nichols can do is just he's just out of this world. I mean, let's get to one of the part that, the worst coach. so one coach na get no points in the Copa America, and the next coach team no score no goal at home in the Nations League. Where how can we pick which one is bad? Because both coaches have a lot of negatives about them, in terms of their little spell in the
Yeah.
season for the Reggae Boys. You know, Al Grayson. I mean, if you can ask me, I think Steve McLaren is probably the worst coach in the year. To me,
I
if he
think,
asked
yeah.
me.
Yeah. I think for me, Steve, as at least Algrinson, you see our identity. We score goals. Structured defensive, we were better.
Yeah,
You know, I think the problem with Algrimson is that, yeah, I think he was very negative, attacking wise.
yeah,
I think he's a more reactive coach than a
yeah,
proactive coach. And I think I remember some good games with Jamaica with Algrinson. You get what I'm saying? And
yeah,
you know, and when with Algrinson, I think there was a belief that there was an idea. You get what I'm saying? And
the counter attacking football.
yeah, yeah, the counter attack. And I think that suit the players that we have as well. Want to play on the fast break. But I feel like things happen behind the scene where he kind of this give up.
Distance himself. Yeah,
Yeah, this one himself. I think if everything was off the field was good, and the him and the federation was communicated, and there was never was a Craig Butler, Liam Bailey situation.
Yeah.
I personally think Al Grimson would have still be here. Personally, I think because I think he knew that he have a better chance of have a goal to get to the World Cup
Mhm.
than go with Ireland, because Ireland is dreadful. You get what I'm saying? So I think he would have still stick around. Steve McLaren, I don't know I don't know. People are telling me say this man play passing football. Bro, we can't we look awful at home. We
Yeah.
look awful. And the selection for me is the worst.
Yeah, selection is a big problem. Big problem. Many you probably could argue that he's pretty much new. Depending on Marian Garden. That man is a disease in the system, brother. That man is a disease in the system, brother.
Yeah.
But look, to be quite frank, if you ask me, man, I just think Emir Grimson, what he have done, in the 2024, and probably have a little bit more success over Steve McLaren. Emir Grimson, his team have scored some goals. Yes, you probably could say Steve McLaren have played probably more tougher teams. Talking about Nicaragua, talking about Honduras, those teams, when shit, the start of the year, our first competitive games were, US and Panama, and he brought US right down to the line where
Yeah.
Korberg won goal. He beat Panama, a team that gave us a lot of problems, when we played them the last couple of times in the River qualifier. So Grimson have, showed his class a little bit, especially in that US game where the team shape in the defensive area, the team was so much better,
Yeah.
defensively, more organized,
But now I
even
cut you.
even
He was I'm not gonna tell. He was there. He was the one that was in the dugout when we played Canada. We came back, right?
yeah, yeah,
Algerson. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And he made that massive change that put Damian Lowe in the midfield too. So that was a very good
yeah,
tactics. You know. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, Al Grimson, have some tremendous, results. When you look at the first game of the Copa America where we play Mexico, that game we should have easily win that game. When the thing is, the left back Aguirre, scored that screamer and Jamal Wade. We were right there. In much of the games, the Ecuador games, a little bit. So you probably could say, with Al Grims that who probably would have a more focused mind, someone that knowing that look after the Copa America, he will still coaching the Reggae Boys. Probably would have put in a lot more effort into the team and how to set up the team, rather than arguing the JFF, the Leon Bailey situation, the Whisper situation of the Copa America squad. But here comes, Steve McLaren, the Cuba game. Drew 0-0. We took over 20 shot and goal, created like 4 point blank, opportunity. Jamal Lowe, miss some opportunity. Boza miss opportunity. So and then, after that we played Honduras at home, no goals, but what Steve McCarron have done, no other coach have ever done that. Win 2 games, on the road in Central America back to back, beating Honduras and Nicaragua in their backyard. So, you could say, but probably, the Al Grims will probably get some more favorable result and probably a little bit more performance, in terms of when you play the bigger teams, So Steve McLaren is probably the worst coach for me, throughout the 2024 period, but he's the gaffer now, we're going to just stick with him and back him and hopefully in the next year he can start out, on a more front foot, playing St. Vincent,
Yeah.
hopefully we're not just 0-0 again at home.
Um. I have a question. I'd like to answer that question too. What would be one of your biggest thing you want to see Steve McLaren and improve coming up next year?
All right, so some stuff that I would love Steve McLaren to improve on. Selection. Him have December, January, February for scout, watch back games,
Yeah.
look who is look who fit his system, look who doesn't suit his system, look who failed his system in the big games, yeah. So selection that I want, I think going into the next window, he should improve on that. He should have a better understanding of what's going on. He should. This is a half break for international coaches. This is where you look back and recap of what went wrong for the calendar year. Yeah, what you're going to improve on for the next year. And the next thing that I want to see Steve McLaren do different from selection, give you. I want to see the continuity of starting them. Give us that starting something like that. What Mariska is doing, you know exactly what will be the starting lineup. You know exactly what he's going to do. So next book after the selection, show us more of that identity.
Yeah.
Yeah, show us more of that identity that you want to coach your team with. Be a little bit more ruthless in terms of making decisions of when things are not going right in terms of with your big players that supposed to be setting example on the pitch. Pull somebody, make some drastic decisions, just like in the US game away in St. Louis. All these top players that he was looking out for to do the X factor, someone that to bring the game to the US, all those players were walking, yeah, in discipline. So I think that he needs to cover up on that as well. And one thing I would like to see next, probably add a few more qualities. We're struggling in the wing backs period. Yeah, the wing backs we are struggling, desperately struggling in that era. And if you look at how the type of football that he want to play, it's like the modern type of football that you want to play the passing game, pass from the back, play out the ball, keep possession, control the tempo of the game. But without proper fullbacks, I think playing those type of that system,
Yeah.
your team will be dead. Your team will be dead.
Yeah.
And when you look at our wing backs, Amari Bell struggled throughout the entire season from August until now with injuries, club farm, Dexter again. Dexter is missing off the radar. He haven't played a game. He's injured now, but haven't played a game after the US game. So we need proper wing backs. As I said, Tavon Gray, he showed his class in the MLS, but when he put on the black, green, and gold, he's like it's like you putting out an under 13 player to play a big man football. He's clueless, So, and the last thing, the most important thing, he needs to properly fix that midfield. Who will be that player will partnership with Isaac Aiden? Because when you look at Isaac Aiden stats in the big game that he played last game, look at his accurate passing, his turnovers. They don't look at that. It's very impressive. But I think what he didn't do well was running, and we can argue about that. He's not fit enough, not playing competitive football. So he's a quality player. He showed his quality in that game. He didn't turn over the ball a lot. So the midfield
Yeah.
should need to fix. And then going into the new year, it will be massive. We're going to need a striker because
Yeah.
what we saw with Mikel Antonio, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good. It can be a career-ending injury. You understand? I
Yeah.
probably know for sure. His West Ham career is probably over, dead.
Yeah. I just saw something from a journalist. I think he cover West Ham news, and he said that not confirmed as yet, but allegedly he probably gonna be out for a year. So I think after that, I think he's might just call it a day.
Yeah, I think.
Personally,
I
yeah,
think he might end his career. I think he might hang up his boots. Yeah, it's sad.
yeah,
But Mikel Antonio is a fighter. You have gone down this road already, but not in this magnitude of injury.
yeah.
23
Physically,
level. Yeah,
body is
physical.
just not
Yeah,
the same.
yeah.
Yeah,
To manage those, fight off those injuries. But moving on. Let's move on to some of the last ones. But the worst moments on the pitch for me, the Corberg own goal that killed me that day. The Corberg own goal that killed me the day, brother. That's one
yeah,
of that's one of the worst moments on the pitch in the calendar year for us. You understand? Next
yeah,
up, the two-legged game against the US. My God, they came to the office and they just ball us off the park. They win the second ball, they win the third ball. You know, they more aggressive, they're more on the front foot. They want the game more than how the home team should be playing. You know, so those two games, I think, you know, probably two of the worst game I have ever seen the Reggae Boyz played in big games. When you're talking about big games that's supposed to be motivating the players to do really well. You know, no goal at home. That's sad. You know, that's sad. You're still not going to stop talk about it until it fix coming, you know, against St. Vincent.
Yeah,
You know?
especially if you want the home fans them to come out, you know, the players them are cry say yo, we're not getting the support. But you know not do the things that make the fans them come support, you know. You know, and I feel like give the fans them something for cheer for. You know, so we have to fix we have to make our we have to make the office become a fortress again. You know,
Yeah,
make team afraid for come down there. You know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And you know, I just have to leave it right here, man. The Mikel Antonio. It just seems like it just tip off the end of the year, you know, the saddest news that we can ever got. I was actually watching Newcastle game, and I was watching one of my friend in England, you know, Jolly J TV, and I was watching him watch along one. I was watching Newcastle game, you know, on Saturday, and someone commented on the chat that, you know, breaking news, allegedly, you know, Reggae Boy International, Mikel Antonio, you know, have crashed somewhere in Essex. So I was like, what? So I was, you know, jump on Twitter same time. I'm like, what the see? West Ham not confirm it as yet, but all of the major platforms that you know cover the West Ham United football team saying that yo, Mikel Antonio have airlifted, you know, from his car. Them have to use cutting tool, you know, to get him out of his car. I'm so happy, you know, Daniel. I'm so happy that nothing didn't spark any fire or anything like that. I'm so happy. You know, it was, and as again, what you said earlier, you know, the weather over, you know, the last 24 hours, 48 hours in England, you know, has been wet, you know, so thank
Very
God for that.
windy.
It's very windy, so thank God for that. So I'm just saying, man, thank God nothing, you know, really transpire where, you know, it sparks any gas and fire, you know, because that seems like it's just a stretch where, you know, once now blues, you know, yes, it can't pass. You know, those long back road, it just look like one of those long back road, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, people, that's it, you know, for the Reggae Boy segment. Yeah, that's it for the Reggae Boy segment. So we're going to use, you know, the last 15, 20, you know, talking about the EPL. You know, but Daniel, I hear it time, you know, because your team are fly high and high in the sky. But before we go to any teams, just let us praise Bobby Reid off his first goal for Leicester City to crawl him back. I didn't have it to say, yo, Leicester City did have a comeback in that game because I was watching the game and I was like, whoa. When I saw Jamie Vardy score, I said the Foxes will come back. But before that goal, I said, game set, game end of the game, you know, for Leicester City. Ruud van Nistelrooy lost his first game at home, you know, against, you know, home supporters. But here comes Jamie Vardy. You know, but listen, you know, Bobby Reid speaking, you know, spoke after the game, and Ruud van Nistelrooy also tipping on the goal, the assist that Jamie Vardy gave the Reggae Boy International to score his first goal for
Yeah.
Leicester City.
I'm feeling really good right now. Obviously, to take a point from the game, it's obviously nice. Coming from 2-0 down, and the manner we done it was good, and we never gave up. So I'm pleased with it.
Tell us about the last 5 minutes.
Manic. Obviously, it was nice once we never gave up. We continued to press, continued to do the right things. Steffi done well to win the ball.
What's that? What's that nice? You hear that nice?
No.
I'm hearing that nice. I don't know. I hear that nice, like something is frying.
I'm feeling really good right now. Obviously, to take a point from the game, it's obviously nice. Coming from 2-0 down, and the manner we done it was good, and we never gave up. So I'm pleased with it.
Tell us about the last 5 minutes.
Manic. Obviously, it was nice once we never gave up. We continued to press, continued to do the right things. Steffi done well to win the ball back and then find the composure to find Jamie, who also had the composure to find me, and it was a perfect goal for us.
And in terms of Jamie Vardy, on the score sheet, also getting an assist today, were you more happy with him being able to pick out DiCordova Reid for the equaliser than the goal himself?
Yeah, I mean that pass was amazing. I thought, well, he's going to finish it 1-on-1, but he saw Bobby, and he slided it in, and it was the tap in, and he made sure that this was a 100% goal. He didn't risk that to miss, and that's the team player he is, and that's the captain he is.
Daniel, Ruud van Nistelrooy, actually, is the successor for Steve Cooper. Got the sack again. 5 points above the drop. I think they are what, 14 points, 15 points. I think the team that Ipswich is on 9 points in 18. Leicester City is on 14 points. Is Ruud van Nistelrooy as a man that to help Bobby take over in Leicester City. To avoid the drop. He's good enough.
Yeah. Still early days. I was watching that game, and when Brighton scored that second turn off, I'm like, I'm gonna go over both one game. And when me hear the leading up to Chelsea Tottenham game, I may hear the NBC they were talking, and they were saying that Leicester City come back. I'm couldn't believe it. But couldn't believe that Leicester City come back and draw that game in the last minute, and I'm very happy for Bobby. I think we really miss Bobby over the past few windows. Hopefully we can have him next year coming. The qualifiers. Very tenacious, hard working, determined play up on the field. I never complain. Bobby Reid have not been starting for Leicester City and come on every time and give his all. You get me? I like those type of play. But I think Van Nistelrooy can able to get some out of that Leicester team. Don't forget, this Leicester team dominate championship last season. I think they appoint the wrong person after Enzo Maresca. I don't think Steve Cooper is the type of manager that Leicester City wants. I think Steve Cooper is more like a very pragmatic coach. I think this Leicester team want to play football. So I think Van Nistelrooy still early, but I think 4 points out of your first 2 games is good, and he's still unbeaten previously from his job in
Manchester United.
Yeah, so it's not about coach.
Yeah. What I saw midweek against West Ham, they beat West Ham at 3-1. Bobby Reid scored a goal, but it disallowed. In the game. From there, I was like, can Van Nistelrooy really, get the best out of Bobby Reid? Just like what, the Fulham coach. Remind me of his name. Remind me of the port. Marco Silva. Marco Silva. What I saw Marco Silva did to Bobby Reid, it was excellent, and I was like, Steve Cooper is a manager that he's not a very good manager. I'm sorry, but
I don't think he's a good manager. I don't know.
Manager. Look, understand. When he got that Nottingham Forest job, Nottingham Forest, they were in the bottom of the championship, and he brought them up to the Premier League. Yeah, but you can't really just look at the championship and just grade a manager, because the championship is a league that it's a feel good league. If you're performing well and the energy is right and everything is perfect, the continuity and you're getting results, you just bounce off games after games, you're bouncing right up the table. So I think it's hard to grade managers and players in the championship. But when you look at what he have done, for the Forest, so many signings, disappointed after disappointed after disappointed, results, my boy walked to the door, Nuno Esposito, and he was a little bit naive, but he realized of something that, hey, I can probably do something different with this Forest team. Yeah? And he brings something different to the team. And here goes Nottingham Forest is striving under Nuno. But no, under Leicester City. In this Leicester team under Cooper, it just didn't look like a team going to win football games.
Yeah.
Van Nistelrooy, I think what Leicester City fans used to is the Claudio Ranieri football. And they made a mistake by hiring, I think, after Claudio Ranieri, Shakespeare, I think, was Dean and I think the Dean Smith again, with poor appointments. So
Yeah.
this Van Nistelrooy thing, playing excited football. You have done it in the Reid easily, it PSV. So now he's doing the same thing. But I think this is just a manager bonus. What will be the true test with Bobby Reid and Van Nistelrooy is that when the results are going bad, when performances are not matching up with the results that they're getting, so they're probably losing 2-1, 3-1, but they're performing tremendously poor. Yeah, how
Yeah.
he will react. So if they can go through that period of where they going through bad spell and then pick up from there, then you can say, okay, yes, this team probably can go further or a little bit, far and probably what Claude. I'm not going to say Claude around here because what he have done that Cinderella story 2016, I don't think no manager can ever repeat that, for Leicester City. But the lights looking good for Bobby Reid, at Leicester City. Let's talk about, the game that we want to talk about. The scores is, that game have postponed. You imagine that, except the Liverpool game, every other game sold out, you understand?
Because I think the effect was it was the early game.
Yeah,
You get me? So it was the lunchtime game and everything else come after. So that was the issue for
yeah,
that one. I think because it was the early game and maybe at that time early in the day the storm was still going crazy. You
yeah.
get me? So I see why. You know.
But Craven, Craven Cottage, Daniel, the new Stoke City. The only thing we can say right now, the only thing we can say right now is that they don't have a road lap. Is it that look, they drew the game one, they drew the game 1-1. I think I don't know if that Kaya Verts was offside. It's so close. And did you saw a line that they draw? Did you saw a line?
Yeah, I think it was Martinelli. It was outside on the
No,
other side.
not the Saka. The first goal that Saliba.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, he was on. He was on side. He
He
was
was
on side.
outside.
Yeah, he was on side.
But Arsenal, look, what we saw through the period where Odegaard was out to this game, this game was much better than the games that they played with the Odegaard out. They create moments, but is it that they depending on set pieces too much now? I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't
they do.
know.
I think they're depending on set piece. The way they depend on set piece so much to the point where they not even wanna play football. You get
I don't
me?
know.
That's
Nothing wrong with what
crazy.
they're doing.
Nothing
Nothing
is
wrong.
wrong with that, but the reason why people used to like Arsenal is because of the way Arsenal play this sexy
Yeah,
football, you know. Play with remember they used to beat Chelsea back in the day. Jose, we play boring, boring, boring Chelsea. Remember?
yeah.
See them Arsenal fans. You get me? I know they're doing it. Like, come
You
on.
know, I have to give them credit. These corners that they're kicking, it's pinpoint perfect. I'm not going
Yeah.
to lie. The rise from the right hand side, the Saka from the rise from left hand side, and the Saka from the right hand side. These corners that they're kicking, you cannot get anything perfect like that. What they did to United, man. Their last 3 goals come from corner kicks. Probably the last 4 goals come from corner kicks. One disallowed. But I mean. I don't know, man. If Arsenal, if they're going down the right road, I think they just need to play some football. I just think
I
they
don't
need to play football.
I don't think that's gonna make them win the title.
No, it's not. It's not.
Chelsea, Liverpool is playing the best football right now, and they're getting the results. Team. I think Fulham, otherwise than the Sleeper goal, I
Yeah,
think Fulham did a really good job today with the corners. I think
yeah,
they did a really good job today. And once you can able to figure out and able to mark the players, I think you can stop them.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, remember what happened last season, between these two in the fixtures, the London Derby, remember that 2-2 game that Fulham drew at the Emirates when they went one when I think João Falfina scored, they got a red card in that game, and Fulham beat them last year at this same stadium. So you would say, look, the last 3 games,
yeah.
they haven't get 3 points from Fulham, so it's really bad. This is one of the teams that been haunting Mikel Arteta. throughout the title race. But you have to give Fulham some credit because look, they won 6 games. They have scored at 22 goals. Awobi, since he left Arsenal, this is the Awobi that Arsenal, Arsene Wenger people, were expecting to see Awobi, 8 goals, to see what he's doing. 8 goals involvement in 16. So it's been really good for him. But move on, from the Gunners, Chelsea, Cucurella. What happened in the warm up? Why was that Cucurella did not realize that this pair of boots didn't good enough?
Me and you play football, and we know say never you play in a new boots when you have a game. You should play in that boots in training. Figure it out first. Make it get look dirt on it. You see me? You not put on brand new boots and go play, especially you're playing at the defense. You're born to slide.
But nevertheless, Chelsea won that game, 4-3. I would say a comfortable result for Chelsea. Rose Rice, Enzo Fernandez, Daniel, that show, this performance. I remember when Moresca came out and said, look, he should be doing better. He's a World Cup winner. He's a very experienced player. He's a very good player in terms of his potential. He can be right up there like the likes of Rodri, Fabregas, Kante, the midfielders them that have played for Chelsea in the past. Now he showed character, he showed leadership, and he started stepped up. Yeah. What do you think about his performances, for the last month or so?
My name is I'm Enzo, divorced him wife. Enzo have been free. Enzo have been free since him there. But on a serious note, this is what Chelsea fans been really waiting for. The World Cup champion that we signed from Benfica, quality player. I think you have to give Enzo Maresca a lot of props. I think Enzo Maresca have a system and getting the best because when we did have Potter and Pochettino, we never really know where to put him. I think he's one of those players where you have to know where to put him, and you have to have the right balance beside him. Because people used to think, say, yo, him and Caicedo can't play together. Him and Caicedo can play together, but I think Maresca is so good where him have Enzo pop up in the box plus a play in a deep in the midfield as well. You get me? So it's very happy, Chelsea finally able to get back that reward of that 100 million that they spent on these two players. So the man them where the woman a year problem, be free.
But look, I have to say this, I'm going to answer this. But before I answer this, Chelsea away from, the best away team in the Premier League this season. Yeah, Chelsea the best away team in the Premier League season. Chelsea, what, 19 points out of 24 when you're talking about away. Yeah, Nicholas Jackson didn't score today, but he's the best striker when in terms of playing away for his club team as well. Chelsea, have scored 23 goals. I've conceded 10 on the road. The last 2 away games against Spurs and Southampton, they have scored 9 goals. Chelsea is just 4 points behind the league leaders, by playing 1 game more than them. Chelsea, have probably scored the most goal in Europe this season, in Europe top 5 league, in terms of away games. So I'm going to ask you this. Is Chelsea in the title race? Yes or no? That we want to ask.
No, it's a dark race.
No,
With a dark horse.
no.
We are not in the Premier League. No. We are the bill. No. We are the billionaire bottle jobs, like what Carragher and never say we are. No, we just have to take it game by game. Arsenal, Man City, they are the challengers, and Liverpool. We are nobody. Don't watch that with the no. A Champions
No, I'm
League
not buying
more.
that. I'm not buying that,
I
Danny.
I
I'm
just
not
care
buying
about
that.
Champions League this season. If the Premier League, if by
You
I'ma
scored
say
the most goals in the league.
I'ma say January oh that December, ask me that question in March again.
Bruh,
Ask me
you
back in
scored the
March.
most goals in the league. You're 4 points behind them. You're best away team in the league. You have the best away striker
Yeah.
playing on away grounds in the league. What are you talking about?
No, we are not a challenger yet, man. Don't put that power
But
away.
Reid, if Jose Mourinho was
No.
the coach, if Jose was the coach, what do
This
you
is a
think?
young team, inexperienced. This is the first time. This is the first year of Maresca. Give
Nah.
us time, man. You know, we just did it. We's the dark horse. You know, we no
I'm gonna tell you
challenger.
why. I'm gonna tell you why in the title race. I'm going to tell you why. Chelsea next 6 games in the Premier League. Home to Brentford, away to Everton, home to Fulham, away to Ipswich, away to Crystal Palace, home to Bournemouth, home to Wolves until January 25. You play Manchester City at Etihad Stadium. In between that, you have some cup games. And you telling me that Chelsea is not in the title race? Oh no, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. Liverpool next games until the end of January. Liverpool next game will play home in the Premier League to Fulham. Yeah, away to Spurs, home to Leicester, away to West Ham, home to United, away to Forest, away to Brentford, and then they play home to Ipswich, and they play yeah, that's it. And that's it to the mountain. They have more big games than you. Away to Brentford. No teams want to go to the GTEC Stadium right now. They're going to play away to Spurs. You don't know what you're going to get from it, from the team that is named Mr. Consistency. Inconsistency, which are the big games. Now have United, the big derby game. You never know what you're going to get from those games. I'm not buying it. Chelsea's in the title.
All
Chelsea
right,
is in it.
all right.
Let's move on. Let's move on. I think Chelsea is right up in the title race, but your next game will be against Brentford. Yeah, the best home team in the league this season. The best home team across Europe top 5 league.
Brentford, but
Brentford.
they have a bad record. They're poor away though. The record away is very bad.
Look, Brentford have won more games at home so far in the league than last season. Than they did last season. But they traveled to Stamford Bridge. But Brentford in their last 7 or 8 home games, they have scored 3 or more goals in around 4 or 5 games. Yeah? So that shows that Brentford is scoring goals. Yeah? Brentford is really 8 home games, 7 win, 1 draw, 26 goals scored. No other team in Europe, top 5 league, have done what Brentford did at home. Not even the Barcelona, not even Bayern Munich. You know the next team I forgot to go find? A Dortmund can really match this team when it comes down to home record in their league, in Europe top 5 league this season. So, but let's see, we're on Brentford. Let's talk about the Brentford game. But what's going on with Eddie Howe with Newcastle, man?
He's me on under the radar. Nobody really is talking about his job, but I feel like it's gonna be like one of those things where they're just gonna give him the whole season, and I feel like they're gonna part ways with him in the summer.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be one of those things. Yeah, I think I think it's gonna be one of those things where they just give him the season and see how it goes, and then after that, they have a massive drop off. They have a massive drop off, but it's still early because one thing in the Premier League this season it's very tight. You win one game, you're already up to 6.
Yeah.
6, 7, so it's very tight. Otherwise, from the top
2,
4.
you're down in a drop.
Yeah. It's very tight and competitive. Yeah.
Look, Brentford, I think people must talk about this team, especially there's a Reggae Boyz International in the back. Ethan Pinnock with Collins, but I was saying 8 games at home. Out of that 6 games, they have scored 3 or more goals in those games. 4-2 against Newcastle, 4-1 against Leicester, 3-2 against Bournemouth, 4-3 against Ipswich, 5-3 against Wolves. They drew against West Ham at home. And also they beat Southampton 3-1 at home. How a team going to stop this team from? When you look at it, what Mboimo and Wiss are doing, excellent. But other pieces start to pick up. The German Schade start to score goals a little bit more. Is it that Thomas Frank, this coach is flying under the radar? When you look in the Premier League, Daniel, over probably the last decade or so, teams that generally do well, that are mediocre teams like Villa, Brentford, Brighton, which other team have came up? Leicester City. Eddie Howe team as an English team. Yeah, and a little bit when Potter was there at Brighton, Eddie Howe team are the only team that was coached by an English really finishing the top four. Every other team that are foreign coaches with those little mediocre teams that coming up. What is going on with the English coaches? Because I remember one time you used to have, the Martin O'Neill at Aston Villa, bringing him up through, playing, playing in Europe. You understand? And even when I forgot this coach name. Damn. I
You
forgot
see,
this
have
coach
David
name.
Moyes at West Ham and Everton too.
You used to have this coach. You used to coach at Fulham as well when they even went to I think
Some other guys.
yeah, but let's talk about something else, But what needs to fix though before we move on with Eastern Pinnock and Brentford backline? They're conceding goals, but they're scoring. They're scoring a lot.
Yeah, they're very, very bad away. I think defensively they're very bad. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know because
Can I say
I think
this?
they've go ahead.
On the away table, Brentford is 19 and 1 point. Score 5 goals and concede 14. So, you say them net I get full up coming weekend. After
I'm not gonna
remember you
say
have a
that
tough game.
because
You have a tough
Brentford have,
game. You have a
yeah, they
tough
have
game
give
coming
us
up in
a
Astana.
lot of problem at Stamford Bridge over the past couple.
Look, I have the record. I forgot to tell. I have the record. You haven't beat them. You haven't beat them. You have beat them like one time in the last 6 games, I think. Something like that. You
Yeah,
haven't beat them.
they're a bogey team.
Yeah, but you have a tough game. You have a tough conference game. You go into away in Kazakhstan to play Astana. The man them say traveling to Kazakhstan is more far from traveling from London to New York. You go in like 10-hour flight, go all the way up close to by Russia. Then you come back to play at Stamford Bridge. I'm not surprised that Brentford get them first away win in the Premier League coming Sunday.
No, but remember, Chelsea not gonna bring their whole full squad. Remember, we
I
have a
know.
B team, A team.
All right. I feel like Chelsea were on the kids, but just a few more things. See a news that our boy, Daniel, what general? When name again? I don't remember when name. Our general name play for Aston Villa name again.
Really?
Have you heard name? I
Chippy Bailey.
think Angel Bailey name. Yeah, man, Angel again, brother.
Into again?
Watch your man inside of tomorrow. Yeah, what going. But 1-0 win away, 1-0 win at home against the Saints. Something I get fed up by watching Southampton team. I watched them midweek, and Ramsdale wasn't in the goal. I can't imagine the man them still play out at the back. Make mistakes after mistakes after mistakes.
Watch naive.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But Aston Villa is 10th in the Champions League table and 10 points. Their last 3 fixtures in the Champions League will be they will play away to Salzburg in Austria, and they will play away in Monaco in France. Tough games. Yeah. Salzburg is in the FIFA Club World Cup. They once was champions of the Europa League. And then they will play at home. They will play at home the last game of the season, which will be a tricky game against Brandon Rodgers' team, Celtic, coming down from Glasgow to play the last Champions League game under Unai Emery for the
I
season.
think I think Aston Villa just kind of get a little bit, I would say, a little bit stale this season. I feel like they I feel like they go out and do the same thing. They don't switch it up.
Yeah,
If Oli Watkins not work, they bring on John Duran. If Liam Beale not having a game, they bring on that kid.
it's
It's just seem like very,
Jaden.
yeah, it seemed very predictable. You get what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So I don't know. I think Una Emery needs to switch it up a little bit because I think team find them out. You
yeah.
know, yeah, they become very predictable, very predictable.
I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find a stats. All right, so this is the thing that I'm looking for. Big chance missed in the Premier League. Aston Villa first and 37 big chance missed through the entire season so far.
For sure, say after that, Oli Watkins. You have been dreadful this season, Oli Watkins.
37. Liverpool is second. Chelsea, Liverpool's on 35 big missed chance. Chelsea's in third. So when you look at that, man, they have scored 23 goals and missed 37 big chances. Liverpool, so the conversion rate is very high on Aston Villa and it's very low. Chelsea have scored 35 goals. So Chelsea have scored more than how much they miss big chances. So it's a little bit low. But yeah. Just a few more. United. Where is the glory United, man? I've seen the same mistakes after mistakes after mistakes. We just cannot see. We saw, I saw a coach that he's trying to find his best starting lineup. He's trying to give everybody a feel. That's what he said. He's trying to make everybody involved. Like, yes, you have a chance and a new manager. He's trying to find the perfect players for that perfect system. I'm just thinking of how long will he continue to carry out this system with these bad players. And I think he's making mistakes along the way because he been schooled at home, being pressed high up the field at home against Forest, and a couple of your changes were you took two of your centre half off, yeah, and brought on two centre half and an attacking player. I was like, you need goals, but you're taking out two centre half out of the three. So the players are not managed to play out the games, not managed to correct their mistake. I'm looking at it like, okay, he's new, he's still trying to find his way. But when you look at the mistakes that United have been making, in terms of you have the back three, then you have the wing backs with Ahmad on the right, Dalot on the left. When they go all the way up, it's like the defensive three they expose and teams continue to hit us right in those open gaps in between where the wing backs have left those spaces, that is open up. The midfield is wide open. It's just the same as like under Eric Ten Hag. Not blaming, Amarin, but just give thanks. We have a young South American player in the midfield that, he's just constantly non-stop running. Ugarte, did I think he have covered the most miles since Amarin have take over? And when you're talking about covering the most miles, United is in 13 on the table. When you're talking about teams that running entire game, 13. And when you're talking about covering the most miles, United is 14 on the table of covering the most miles. So this is a team that Amarin even did did an interview. I don't remember who he did with. I think it was on Sky Sports. He was talking about the fitness and players have to be running in his system. We saw that with Sporting Lisbon, yeah. But no, United, not saying it is fat, but United is 13 on the table when it comes down to running stats. And when you're talking about covering the most kilometers on the pitch, United is in 14. Daniel, if you can't run in the Premier League, what's going to happen?
Yes, Guess United position in the Premier League. 13th. All them stats where you just call out, count up to the position that in the league. I'm gonna just be straightforward because I feel like from last season when we talk about United problem. Let's be honest, people. These players are not good.
No, not good enough.
They have to get rid of all. Una have to go do what Chelsea do, which I know is gonna be very difficult because United is in our depth. Una have to go get rid of every last player. The only player that can stay is the players them that is fresh, brand new, and thing. But man like Rashford, even Bruno, these players need to go. Maguire,
Yeah.
Luke Shaw is finished.
No, Luke Shaw done.
If United wants to go forward, I want to give this coach because we see that it's not the coach's fault anymore.
No.
Don't get me wrong now. Tengang was a part of the problem, but it wasn't just his fault alone. This is a team of United. The players perform, then they give up, then they get the coach sacked. So you're bringing that coach now. None of these players is his. None of these players is his.
Players still in that squad are coming from Jose Mourinho.
Yes. So, you have to give this coach everything. Give him the key, let him do it. Get rid of these players that have been sucking these coaches. And that's the only way you're going to move forward as a club. United have to do that, or else we're going to come back. We're going to be talking about this again next season, saying that Amrin needs to get sacked because the team now perform. It's the players. The players is not good enough.
Yeah.
They're too inconsistent. They're not good enough. At the highest level, they're not good enough.
I just think that
this season is a write-off. Don't expect nothing good from me. Don't expect.
I don't think we're going to make Europe this season, unless we win the EFL. Unless we win the EFL Cup or the FA Cup, like what we did last season.
What about winning the Europa League?
Yeah, all of that too. But I wasn't even thinking about that too. We play a team from Czech Republic coming up on Thursday, then the Manchester Derby. But I mean, Menu can stay, Ugati can stay.
Let me ask you a question. Ask me if me didn't have titles. You didn't have relegation battle?
No, man, you're right, man. At 20 points,
no, you're not 20 points. And 19 points at the point.
19 points or something like that.
But you can lose again next week. You can lose again next week.
No, man, we are about City, man.
You have beat City?
Yeah, man, we are beat. Everybody have beat City, man. You can't so work with Sana beat City, bro.
We have City and then Bournemouth. Bournemouth's are difficult game.
We are going away to Bournemouth. We have 3 away games coming up. 1 in Czech Republic, City, and then Bournemouth. I think we lost at Vitality Stadium last season as well. Yeah. But one more. Daniel, so there's a bias in the English media. You heard any outcry about Phil Foden drastic form since the Euros until now? Like, they talk about it, but not as much as when Raheem Sterling is down, Rashford is on his face, Sancho is on his... when you talk about the black players that play for England over the years, Reece James, they have mock Reece James that he should hang up his boots. Yeah? Remember when Trent was... that sees that Liverpool had with Jurgen Klopp a few seasons back, they said Trent should be nowhere near the England squad. But what happened? You have never heard the big outcry of Phil Foden to be dropped from the Three Lions.
Because he's their favorite boy. That's when they have. That's one of the media have them favorites. Foden have been dreadful this season. Nowhere in it. Huh?
Player of the year last season. Almost 30 goals.
He is nowhere near the top 10 player this season in the Premier League. Top 10. He's not even. He is not even in the top 10 this season in the Premier League.
He's not in the top 10 midfielders in the Premier League this season.
No, he's not. I don't think he have scored any goal in the Premier League.
No, he hasn't scored a goal in the Premier League.
No.
I think he scored in the Champions League against
He
Lisbon.
scored in Champions League, but not in the Premier League.
He haven't scored. I think he has 1 assist in the Premier League. But I mean, it showed that what happened at Sellers Park, it's the same thing happening with City. When you look at, the wing backs, Gavin or Kyle Walker, poor mistakes after mistake. The only proper defender them have is probably Diaz. The keeper brought in to do something different. The last 3 games, mistakes as well. The goal that even scored at Sellers Park, that shouldn't score the first goal. You understand? Erling Haaland finally get on the score sheet. But I understand that it's the same thing. Bernardo Silva and Gundogan in the midfield.
Aging squad.
They
They have more beat than forget this season.
their
They have
next
wallet more beat forget.
their next games, their next 3 games is away to Juve, a team that they never beat before. And they play United and then they play away to Aston Villa. Will Pep Guardiola ever get the sack at City?
I think if they don't make Champions League, because I think they're out of the Premier League. I think if they don't make the Champions League,
This result against Crystal Palace, like, write them off of the
Yeah.
title race.
Yeah.
When I initially saw them win against Forest, I was like, okay, what can they do at Sellers Park? Crystal Palace team that is struggling. You understand? Can they get that win? But, let's wrap up, people. Let's wrap up, people. Look, it's a really good conversation. We discussed, the starters topic, we're, talking about, La Liga, French League, Bundesliga, and Italian Serie A. You understand? Talking about the worst have happened for the calendar year for the Reggae Boyz. Them are great. Dexter, Lembe, Kisa, and Shamar, Bowser, Nicholson. Those players are my worst players that played for the Reggae Boyz this calendar year. I understand. The worst moment on the pitch. The worst moment on the pitch. What I have again? The worst moment I have on the pitch is that Corberg own goal. And off the pitch is that Mikel Antonio incident. Wish the player well, hopefully he can get at least 2 more seasons out of him foot them. You understand? Out of him foot them, is it in the Premier League? Mikel Antonio come to the JPL.
what's up?
But I don't think, I think we have seen, the game that Mikel Antonio have played against Leicester City, I think we have seen the last of him in a West Ham shirt. 1 goal in the Premier League so far, and that came against Ipswich Town, at the London Stadium. So hopefully,
if he do retire, gonna get a good send off,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully, he can get at least 1 more game and get a proper send off. By look, Mikel Antonio is the leading goal scorer in the Premier League for West Ham. You understand? But people, let's leave this with the Mikel Antonio tribute.
Antonio from distance. Antonio with a blast from range to level it for Jamaica. A goal out of nothing for the Reggae Boyz.
So people, that's it right there. Hopefully, speedy recovery, to Mikel Antonio, man. Daniel, respect passing through again. You don't know. Yeah. Bless up yourself. Next week we'll do it again. Yeah? Bless up. But people, let's tribute one more time, some big goals Mikel Antonio have scored at Upton Park. The reason why I get these clips, yeah, it's because Mikel Antonio have scored some crazy goal at Upton Park, for West Ham, leading goal scorer in the Premier League for Mikel, for West Ham, right above the captain himself, Noble, ahead of Frank Lampard, ahead of Zola, ahead of the man himself who is one of our part of the coaching staff for the Reggae Boyz, Trevor Sinclair. So from right back to right wing to left back to left midfield to a centre forward to be West Ham most decorated striker in the Premier League. Yeah, can you imagine Mikel Antonio have scored more goals as a player than Zola. Yeah? A player like Gianfranco Zola, a legend of the game, who play also for Chelsea as well. I can't believe it, man. But Mikel Antonio again, people.
Antonio from distance. Antonio with a blast from range to level it for Jamaica. A goal out of nothing for the Reggae Boyz.
Yeah, people, you know, it's so sad, man, to see what Mikel Antonio is going through, man. You know, prayers to Mikel Antonio family and close friends, you know, the Reggae Boyz Nation continue to send out that positive energy out there for Mikel Antonio, man. You know, sad time, you know, one of probably the worst moment of his career. You understand? We just there hopefully Mikel Antonio can at least grace the pitch one last time so he could get that standing ovation that could send off. Is either, you know, from the Reggae Boyz fans, is either from the West Ham fans as well. You know, I know the West Ham fans really love him. You know, the leading goal scorer in the Premier League, you know, with what, I think 65 goals, something like so. You know, so massive. He's a legend. He's a legend, man. You know, it would be so sad, you know, if he cannot kick a ball again, you know, for his career. And sorry to see if that happened, probably Mikel Antonio won't even be at a World Cup, something that, you know, he's dreamed of since he made his professional debut, you know, signed his first professional contract, you know. Yeah, I know the Reggae Boyz will make the World Cup this World Cup campaign, man. You know, I know hopefully Mikel Antonio can be healthy enough so he can be amongst that 26 or 23 players, how much FIFA decide that is going to go to the World Cup. But yeah, people, you know, you have come to the end of the NICARDO podcast. You know, really sad. You know, I'm sad in my voice to know that, look, man, Mikel Antonio is going through this. I understand. Sad. Yeah, but people, really appreciate everybody who come on here. I know. Continue to push out the positive energy up there in the atmosphere and the ecosystem for Mikel Antonio. Speedy recovery. Hopefully he can be back soon on the pitch. Hopefully this is not his last game for West Ham. Hopefully the game that he played, you know, I think away to Nicaragua, that wasn't his last game for the Reggae Boyz. I think, you know, so, or Honduras, one of those games. But yeah, people, I'm out. Morning Insider tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Time.